At the beginning, everything was white. And then, in God's deepest dream, there was a spark of fertility. Pachamama was birthed in time and space. And the earth school, our home, was created. And the fertility goddess Pachamama opened her arms for our place to learn our lessons.
Hey, hey!
Welcome, Spiritual Mag. I'm Sam Bell. Today's topic is the spiritual internet, wireless. So it's assumed by many people that consciousness is only inside your brain, inside your skull. And it's also assumed by, I think, more people now that consciousness is inside your skull and then outside your skull. So it's not like you took some consciousness and put it into your head and then you became real. It's more like you're completely surrounded in consciousness and you've been in it the whole time and never left it. You just don't know it to some degree. So basically the rule that people can assume now is consciousness is non-local. It's a wireless internet made up of love energies, literally love energies. Now, there's a lot of different materials and types of stuff in the world as we know it in our galaxy, but whether it's solid or liquid or frozen or nothing there, love penetrates it and goes through and goes out the other side. Mothers know that. Love goes for eternal, can't be stopped. So, females, males are citizens and have rights. So you have the right to free speech, you have the right to freedom of movement, you have the right to congregate. There's states' rights. There's a constitution and there's personal rights. Now in the United States, that's the form. And in many countries, there is a form similar to that, if not identical. Now, if it actually functions like that, that's another story. But the idea is that each individual is made equal in the hands of God. No one's better, no one's worse. When our Lord was here, he taught many lessons. He didn't really focus that much on slavery because at the time consciousness had not elevated, evolved at that point, some 2,000 years ago, for people to really understand that you can't buy and sell human beings. And it's a big mistake to think you can. So today, 2023, there's a certain situations that are occurring around the planet. And I said situations, plural. There's environmental, there's pathologies, diseases, global issues right now. Stress, water, medical services, affordability for healthcare, financial institutions, trust, and then all of those things are kind of like balanced on top of nuclear, high noon, let's shoot them up. Right. Things are escalating pretty quickly right now. Things are escalating right now very, very quickly. So what I'm going to say here is kind of important because if you utilize it, we can change the planet in 24 hours. It doesn't take everybody. It just takes a good percentage to. See, females are the most underutilized resource on the planet. Females are the most underutilized resource on the planet. And females, you have the same rights as males. So you have a choice now. You want to sit back and watch the planet get nuked, destroyed, poisoned, threatened, stressed? I don't think so. I know you don't. Females are different than males. So the next idea is, if something's not broke, don't dick with it. Hello, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay? And then the other side of that is, if what you're doing is not working, probably stop doing it. Try something different. Okay, if you're doing something, whatever it is, addressing a behavior or communication or whatever it is, and it's not working, it's probably not working. So stop doing it. Don't quit repeating it over and over and over and over. So consciousness is non-local. Okay? Consciousness is non-local, and consciousness functions on frequencies and thought forms. And the thought forms are created by your consciousness interacting with the non-local consciousness that interpenetrates, and you penetrate their matrices and or dimensions. Your perceptions are what creates your reality. So ladies, please recognize, if each of you takes some time each day, sit and meditate and focus on healing of the planet, visualize the globe, all your loved ones, the planet, surrounded in a bubble of light. Truly, 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 everybody does it. It works. Hello? I'm not talking to the men. The men aren't going to do it. The men would rather carry an M14 and shoot shit. I've shot a lot of stuff. I've never killed a person. Never would. So you can make the planet better. And right now, all hell is breaking loose. There are places that have big pew-pews. And individuals may or may not be able to be responsible in a terror situation. Everyone suffers. So right now, more than ever, you need to use your cognition and your focus and address your consciousness and penetrate the non-local consciousness. So you're exercising your free will to fix the environment. You're not hurting anybody. You're doing it. You're fixing the environment. You're fixing your health and others' health with, this is love energies. Remember, this is the energy that penetrates everything with your thoughts. Okay, so in the Constitution, you have freedom of speech. Speech, I'm making speech up. These are sounds, this is speech. The speech is going by air, my vocal cords is going into your ears through a little electrical thing. And it's creating thought forms in your head. So ladies, when you don't exercise your freedom of speech, you're not stimulating thought forms in people's heads. You're not able to address the problem in the non-local consciousness to fix the planet, the health, the environment, healthcare. You just take a big dial, just take one big dial and think of it as compassion. And you have 1 to 10, and you just start cranking it. Right now we're at about 2. Start cranking it from 2 in your mind. 2, 2, 3, 3. Each day, focus on it. After a week, you're going to kick it up there to a 9. And trust me, your environment will be different. Completely different. Because you've accessed a place within your heart chakra that connects to the non-local consciousness. And it doesn't stop. And ladies, you know, men are loving. They may not be as loving as females. So you've got the clout, baby. And it's use it or lose it now. Seriously. Now, I got an example for you. I was instructor with Fargo Countermeasures Manufacturers / Sabre Laboratories. with Leo Jones. And so I met Leo and I channeled his angel, and we became very good friends while he was still alive, his last years. And he produced equipment only for police agencies. Okay. He produced equipment for protecting their information and protecting the people who are seeking to permeate and place interceptors in their environment, bugs and stuff like that. So he did it for the Army, Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, the White House. Really. But not the FBI. I don't know about the Secret Service. We never talked about the Secret Service. I don't know if he did it for the Secret Service. I don't know. So if you'd like to learn about Leo, watch the movie by Francis Ford Coppola, The Conversation. Excellent movie, excellent movie, excellent movie. And Leo was a participant in the production of that in terms of, equipment and scenes and stuff like that, because that's what he did. Anyway, I worked for Leo using Daisy, my guardian angel, to get information to help bust bad cops. Police chiefs don't like bad cops. So I'm using the non-local consciousness as a, quote, psychic. It's not a psychic I report my guardian angel. It's not. Psychic means to determine the truth if you really looked at it. But so I worked with Leo in affecting the non-local consciousness. And he was interested in early spies. Okay, because that's what he would do. If you want to buy spy equipment, how are you going to sell it? I mean, you're going to walk in, I got the best spy equipment. So what you do is you walk in and say he's going to a Standard Oil boardroom meeting, okay? Or the desk and chairs that visitors sit in or something. Everything's recorded, right? Nothing's missed. You're on the plane, first class, it's listening. So to show that his products were better, he would walk into the location and he'd point out the bugs that are already there that they don't know about, okay? So I could help with that, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, he'd have to bring a boat, take a boat, his own boat on the water. That was with Leo, and I addressed the non-local consciousness. So his interest in early spies, he was very interested in a woman named Pauline Cushman. And she was buried at cemetery in San Francisco, just before you get into San Francisco. Anyway, she was a Civil War spy, okay? And I'm sharing this true story about an American female who kind of changed the course of the Civil War, because she was brave and had courage and exercised her free will and was motivated by unconditional love. Okay, Pauline Cushman. So what happened was, I think she's her husband he's in the north and he goes to fight. He comes back and he dies. He comes back sick and he dies. So she's all So she's a babe. Okay, she's a babe. And so I think it was 5 brothers and her. And so she was just a little more superior than the guys, and she could ride a horse really, really good and climb trees and do all kinds of tricks, rope stuff and all kinds of stuff, because she hung out with these boys. And so when her husband died, she was, worked in a place that was actresses would work, need a job, go in there and, I don't know, serve beer, who knows what. And some guys were intoxicated and said, we're going to give you some money if you make a toast to the South. Okay. And so they said it was $350. That's what the history says. I don't know. Could have been, take it, you're going to, not go anywhere. So she did it. She took the money and she said she was going to do it in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, where it's kind of like Southerners and Northerners are kind of duking it out. It was like 1860, 1861. So she went to the North right away, the North Secret Service, and said, hey, look, these guys want me to do this. And I took the money. So what should I do? And so they said, do it. Be a spy. Go down there and do what you got to do. Do not take any evidence. Don't keep any evidence on you. She finally got caught because she had something in her boot, a map or something. But anyway, so she just go into Louisville, and her story was she's looking for her brother. Right? She's looking for her brother who's supposedly fighting. And so she could, ride into the camp, and, this hot babe comes in the camp, and she goes, I'm looking for my brother, blah, 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 and they're going, no, we don't know. And he was wounded, we don't know, okay. So eventually the higher ups would start hitting on her. Of course, right? The private's like, and then the guy comes up in the mirror and the horse like, hello. So she would, communicate with the higher ups in social ways, and then lure them at a certain point to have a rendezvous, like out by the river, the other side of, wherever, over that hill or river. And then she'd kill him. She would hang him. And the typical way was she would hide her horse and climb up a tree, because she could outride the guy, or she'd just take off. And she'd hide the horse and climb up a tree. Then when the guy rode under the tree, she'd kill him. That's pretty cool. So she did that all the time. Then she'd hide the body, right? So they go, the captain's out there with, Pauline, and she's a hot babe. And then, we're got 3 days, and we better go. Oh, where is he? And then break out the hounds. Well, she just cut a path through the South, just duking it out, right? Taking people out right and left. She was really, really good at it, right? So eventually they caught her, and they were going to hang her. And at the last minute, she was saved by the Union Army came and saved her. Then she was awarded as a Major Pauline Cushman, Secret Service of the Army of the Cumberland, Union Army North, federal spy. And she was supposed to die in Shelbyville. They got her and they saved her. Actually, they saved her twice. The book only says once, but I did quite a bit diving on her history. The Union Army saved her twice, but on the internet, they just saved her once, but no, they saved her twice. So she came back, and she was, on stage, and she was kind of a babe, and she could tell the stories about what's going on. She showed up with the uniform, the rifle, and taking the pictures. Well, eventually the Civil War just kind of like, we didn't want to hear about it anymore. And so she moved to San Francisco. Now, Leo lived in San Francisco, and I was working in South City at the time. South City, that was called. Gosh, I forgot. So Presidio is the name of the cemetery. He wanted to go to the cemetery and see her gravestone. So he and I hustled out, and we went to the Presidio as the military cemetery. Pristine, really nice. Quiet, dead quiet. And looked for Pauline Cushman. And we looked and 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 looked. Couldn't find her. She wasn't in the book. There was no stone with it. But we found out later her name wasn't really Cushman. It was a different name. I don't have that name. But so she changed the war, big time. And she did it because she was a woman, and she was loving, and she was intelligent, and she had skills. And she didn't have some man to tell her what to do or get her to do something. She grabbed the bull by the horns. Well, sweetheart, ladies and males who are interested in making the environment and evolution go forwards, elevating consciousness, we need to avoid conflict on the planet. elevating consciousness using the non-local consciousness that each of you can access if you have unconditional love in your heart. And you exercise your willpower and your free will. Those are the three things you use to incarnate. They're in you now, and that's the only thing you're going to take. And what you make is what you take. You can't weigh your willpower or your ability to focus or your unconditional love. You can't cut it. You can't surgically remove it. Those things are non-physical, but those are the things you use to grab your love and focus it on healing of the ones you love. And it comes very naturally, and it's reciprocal. It comes back. It's like communication. It comes back, comes back, comes back. And ladies, you know how good you are at communication. So here's how you do it. Ta-da! Civilian Corps. Civilian Corps is an interplanetary free will volunteer organization initiated on July 15th, 2022. Civilian Corps are individuals like you who serve others while building better futures. Your applied consciousness and consciousness improving actions seep directly into the immediate matrix. And if you don't, they don't. Got a choice. It's a free will thing. When focused intentions are purposely applied, once underutilized, innate healing energies can blossom into a robust, larger society of enhanced, ethical, smaller communities. It's kind of, it's natural actually, and it's a lot healthier, and it's cheaper. Moreover, these enhanced consciousness communities provide super quality learning environments for infants and elders. You'll be an elder if you're lucky, and the infants need to be educated. Requirements to be active in the Civilian Corps: you've got willpower, ability, focus, and unconditional love. These three timeless characteristics are the foundations for an evolving society. 1, to elevate consciousness and the resulting quality of life. 2, to increase healing applications of the most underutilized resource on this planet, women. 3, to stimulate self-initiated or participation in coordinated actions directly addressing emotional and physical health. 4, to promote healing in targeted aspects of our communities and improve communication talents for a thriving and sustainable expanded future for all children. Listen closely. 5, to implement the best ethical effort of man and machine, artificial intelligence, neuroscience, and non-local consciousness for community building. 6, to demonstrate willingness and coordination with loving higher consciousness beings on and off planet. I established this instrument as a free will declaration. Sam Bell. That's all you got to do. It's like a letter to the universe, but it's a lot more powerful if all the ladies start doing it at once. Guys, if you can kick on it, kick on it. Just think of it like a Harley prayer or something. Ladies, you're the one that has the love and compassion in your heart that's there for your children and your grandchildren. And you can do it with visualization of white light. You can do that. So take the item, the object, doesn't matter how big or how small, because love is eternal. And if you're really loving, you got big wampum, serious wampum. It also depends on who you're communicating with on the other side. I suggest Mother God. Okay, the super source. Okay? You and all your loved ones are always in my prayers. Spiritual Mag.